Hey, how is it going? It is your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward here with a live video Q&A. Oh, that's bright. Live video Q&A for the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. And today, this is probably going to be a quick one because right now we're in the middle of a snowstorm and the power's been surging. You can actually see the snow up there on my window. It's all caked in there already. So I may lose the power like at any moment. In fact, just an hour ago, the power went and came back on again. So no guarantees that it's going to be that it's going to stay and that we're actually going to have a live show here. But while it's on, hey, why not? Let's throw the camera on, see what happens. So let me just set this up so I can do a video chat. Try to set this up. Bloody phone! I need to get something here to rest this on properly. All right, shit, I can't get. This isn't going good for me, guys. I need something. My phone is slipping all over the place. There, okay, that works. I think that works. Cool, awesome. All right, so if you have any questions that you would like to discuss, like the way these video chats work is I'm going to hang out here for the next, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe 50, 60, I don't know. But I'm going to be hanging out here for the next little while, as long as I have electricity and I can still do this, and basically just have a conversation with you. So if there's anything that you would like to discuss, feel free to post it in the chat window there, and I'll do the best I can to help you out. And if you're brand new to these video chats, like maybe you've never tuned into a live Lee Hayward Q&A Total Fitness Bodybuilding video chat, I do these every Friday afternoon. If you haven't tuned in one before, then let me know. Type the letter N if you are new to the video chat. And if you're a regular and you tune into these all the time, type the letter R to let me know that you are a regular. All right, let's see. We have Ross just tuning in. He says he turns 17 tomorrow. And he says he's going to be training legs on his birthday. Good for you, my friend. Happy birthday in advance. We have B Gaines joining in. Haley, regular. B Gaines is new. Well, welcome to the video chat, my friend. We have Rob tuning in. Regular to the chat. Awesome. Welcome, guys. I'm a bit late with running this chat today because like today has been all over the place as far as the weather, the internet connection wasn't it was surging in and out, so I didn't even know I'd be able to have a video chat today. But hey, knock on wood, right now there's internet, right now we have electricity, so we're doing a video chat. Keep it going. All this past week I've been super busy. We've been running another Lose Your Gut challenge, and I know several of you have probably been through past Lose Your Gut challenges. This is the third time that I've ran a Lose Your Gut challenge, and it gets better and better every time, right? I feel I get better with doing it, and we had a really good group this time around. It started off with the biggest group ever, but the nature of the whole challenge, if you've ever done one before, you know that it's an interactive challenge, meaning that you have to participate. If you don't participate in the challenge, you get booted out of the challenge. So we actually started off with, I think it was like 194 people. By the end of the 5-day challenge, we were down, I think it's down to like 82 people right now. So kicking people out. Like, I mean, if you can't keep up with the accountability tasks, you can't keep up with homework assignments, then you get kicked out of the challenge. So by the time we get to the end of the challenge, we have people who are actually committed, action takers, people who are serious about achieving their fitness and fat loss goals, not just the tire kickers and the lurkers and the people who just want to kind of sit on the sidelines and I don't want to participate, I don't want to do anything, I just want to watch and kind of figure out what's on the go. I mean, obviously, you sitting on the sidelines, watching and lurking, that doesn't help anybody. It's only actively participating is where change happens. So that's what I like about the Lose Your Gut challenge. So we're in the process now, still going through that. I mean, this is the final day of the challenge, but we've got, it's taking things to another level now. So I mean, we've got the foundation laid, and now I'm going to be working with people throughout the challenge to really help them to take things to the next level, apply what they've learned, and actually reach their fitness and fat loss goals in 2020. So if you'd be interested in participating in a future Lose Your Gut challenge, let me know. Hey, post in the comments. Let me know if you would like to be a part of a future one, and I'll keep you updated. And of course, these challenges all take place on my private Facebook group. So if you haven't already done so, head on over to Facebook, do a search for Lee Hayward's Total Fitness Bodybuilding. You can like, my Facebook page. It's a public page that anybody can access, but we also have a private Facebook group that you have to request access to join. So you can go in there and request access, and that's where I share all the details with regards to challenges like the Lose Your Gut Challenge, and we also have some online interaction and coaching. If you have questions about your training, your nutrition, or anything like that, feel free to interact. And it's a group community. It's a small, supportive community of like-minded folks who are there to help and support one another with reaching fitness and fat loss goals. All right, so let's see what else we've got. A lot of regulars tuning in. We have Lee, we have God Warriors, a new person joining in. It says, how can I fix my body proportion? My left arm is smaller than my right. That is a very common issue, and I'm going to tell you right up front. Virtually everybody has one arm bigger than the other, or one leg bigger than the other. It's like most people are just not consciously aware of it, but if you actually break out the tape measure, virtually everyone's going to have some imbalance. It's actually probably, you'd be the oddball if you had perfect proportion between your left and right sides. In my case, I have one arm's bigger and more defined than the other, one leg's bigger and more defined than the other. That's normal. Generally, it's your dominant side is going to be bigger and stronger than your non-dominant side. So if you're right-handed, more often than not, your right hand's going to be bigger and stronger, but not always. I've seen it work in the opposite way as well. It doesn't make sense, but I've seen people like they're right-handed, yet their left side is bigger. Again, I don't understand why that is, but it's just normal. Like, you will see that. The only way that you can really balance this out, and you may never perfectly balance it, but the only way that you can take measures to balance it and try to make improvements is by training each side independently. And I've put together a complete playlist series that's on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel. You just go to the main channel, open up the playlists, and it's a single limb workout series. I'll probably post a link to it down below in the video description when I post the description and the timestamps afterwards. Probably post it up in the cards there as well. But that's a single limb playlist series, and it covers single limb exercises for all your major muscle groups. So there's chest workout using single limb exercises, back workout using single limb, legs, arms, shoulders, all these exercises that will build balance and proportion between the left and right sides. So you want to check that one out. Have myself a cup of green tea. And I'm almost out. All right, let's see what else we have. I wish we had a snowstorm. All we get is rain. Everybody wants what they don't have. Like, quite honestly, I'd be happy with rain, because guess what? You don't get stuck in rain. Like, it's a nasty snowstorm. Like, since I actually took pictures and I took a video. Like, this morning, you could see my entire car. Like, yes, there was snow on the driveway, but like my car was totally visible this morning. Now the snow is right to the roof of the car. That's like since this morning. It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon right here. So, I mean, it's like crazy, like how much snow has fallen over the course of the day. We are buried. I mean, it's a doozy, and it's high winds too. Like it's over 100-kilometer-an-hour wind. So it's not fun. Like, I was just outside then because Sally, my dog, had to go up and pee, and normally we put her up in the back of the house, and the way the snow's been drifting up against the back of the house, like I can't even open up our back door. It's like the snow is almost to the top of the door. So thankfully, just the way the house is positioned, there's the front door is accessible. So we opened up the front door to let her out. And when I went around the side of the house to look, like, my car is gone. It's just like snow right to the roof of the car. It's like, this is crazy. So anyway, you know what I'm going to be doing once this snowstorm ends? My workout is going to be, right? Mother Nature is giving me a snow shoveling workout. What else we got? Heard you're going to get pretty hard with the weather. Okay, that's Rob. Yes, we're getting hit hard with the weather as I speak. We have Jacob tuning in from Thailand. He says, I'd like to know about dates and honey when you're cutting. I'll give you a simple answer. Minimize them or avoid them altogether. Dates and honey are sugar. And ideally, when you are cutting, you want to minimize sugar. They're great if you're bulking and you're just trying to get high calorie dense foods, but dates, honey, very concentrated in calories, not getting a lot of eating satisfaction for the food volume. Like it's jam packed. It's so dense, right? Like it's you'd be much better off eating other food sources. Like for the volume of food you're going to get and the calorie density, it's not a good trade-off because you will eat it. It'll stimulate your appetite because it's sugar and it's sweet, and it's not going to give any food volume. Like you're not going to stretch your belly and fill up your stomach with satiation from the calorie dense foods. So if you are like if you're bulking and you're trying to get more calories in your system, well, okay, it makes sense then. Or if you're doing some extreme endurance event where you need very compact, easy sources of calories, okay, it makes sense then. Like if you're doing an Ironman or a marathon or whatever, yeah, okay, yeah, they eat that kind of stuff because they want that calorie dense foods that not going to require a lot of eating. But from a cutting point of view, you want the complete opposite. You want high volume foods, low calorie density. And honey and dates are not going to do that. So my advice is just don't eat them. Don't eat them. Simple. I mean, if you want something to replace honey, like you can get artificial, like sugar-free, like maple syrup and stuff like that. Like I sometimes use one. For example, if I'm making my high-protein pancake recipe, and I want to put something on it, I'll use like a sugar-free maple syrup. The one that I use is ED Smith is the brand. Now we get it at the grocery store in here in Canada. No, you're in Thailand. I have no idea what's in the grocery store in Thailand, but you can probably order stuff like off the internet and get it. Sugar-free maple syrup or sugar-free alternatives that you can have while cutting that add some flavor to your food without a lot of calories. Let's see what else we've got. Jacob, or sorry, that was Jacob. Josh, thanks for sharing your throwback picture from when you were 24 and now. Very inspiring. Yeah, you're welcome. That picture. Obviously, I mean, it's been around. I've seen that picture long ago. I mean, it's well, I mean, 15, no, 16, 17 years ago. 17 years ago, that picture was taken. So, I mean, I knew darn well about that picture, my big fatty gut sticking out further than my chest picture. But I was so embarrassed that I wasn't going to show anybody that. And that's kind of like the dirty little secret of bodybuilding and online fitness influencers and people like that. Like they won't show their fatty pics, even though a lot of them have them. Right? They only want to show their good pictures. So like when you're following people on Instagram, like a lot of times what they'll do is they'll do a photo shoot like right after a bodybuilding competition or something like that, and they'll take hundreds of pictures, and then they'll drip feed those pictures over the course of several months. And you're always looking at them saying, like, whoa, Joe Blow fitness model on Instagram, he's always ripped, when in reality he's just sharing the same pictures over and over and over again that he took while he was ripped. Meanwhile, after that show was over, he probably went and binged eat and gained a bunch of weight. And if you've seen him currently, sometimes they're not always as ripped. And this is a common thing in bodybuilding and fitness and physique and all that. Like sometimes when I run into people that I've competed with in the past, like I remember them from the bodybuilding days when we were on stage together. And I mean, they were shredded and ripped and jacked and looked amazing. And every now and then, like if I'm out in public, like out at the grocery store, out at the mall or something, and I run into somebody, like they'll say, hi Lee, how are you? And I gotta like look at them like, wait a minute, is that you? Like, geez, I mean, okay, I recognize the face, even though it's rounder and fuller, but like, man, when I seen you last, you were like 60 pounds lighter, right? And that is so common. Like, it has happened to me numerous times where I've ran into people who I've knew through bodybuilding, and like, whoa, like, what happened to you? Like, you used to be lean, ripped, jacked, and now you're big and fat, for lack of a better word, right? 50, 60, sometimes more weight that they've gained since then. So, the reason for that is because when people go on these extreme cutting diets for competition, it's not a lifestyle approach. It's a crash diet, right? They're going on extremes. Like back when I was competing in bodybuilding, I'd do the boiled chicken, steamed broccoli, 2 hours a day in the gym plus cardio on top of that. And I did that for months on end. I'd put my blinders on, say I'm going to get ready for a show, and I just go into contest cutting mode, and everything else would get pushed off to the sides. Right? I wouldn't spend time with my family. I wouldn't go to restaurants. I just live like a monk, eating my boiled chicken and broccoli, working out 2 hours a day, and then doing cardio on top of that. That was it. I would do that for months on end to get ready for a show. And of course, I'd compete, look good on stage, look good in the pictures. But then afterwards, I was just so sick and tired of depriving myself that I would go binge eat. And then within the matter of weeks or months after the show, I'd be ballooned up sometimes 40 pounds in the matter of months. And I mean, that was the reality. So that picture you seen that I posted there the other day, I was competing in bodybuilding. That was my off season, right? Like, it just shows how fat I would let myself get in the off season, right? I mean, so it's not healthy. So these days I have a system in place where I manage it. Like, I don't go to the extremes of this extreme crazy cutting diet, and I have a nice manageable system that actually allows me to stay reasonably lean year round. Now, granted, I'm not contest shredded or anything like that. I mean, if I were to compete in a bodybuilding show, I'd get my ass kicked, right? But I'm lean enough that I can take my shirt off at the swimming pool, or I can take my shirt off if we're going on a beach vacation or something like that, and feel comfortable. And that's all I really care about at this stage, right? I'm comfortable, I'm healthy, I feel good. No, I'm not going to win a bodybuilding show in this shape, but I don't really care about that. But yeah, so that's the story behind that picture, right? It was one that it was buried away for years because I was so embarrassed about it. But then I was thinking, you know what? Like, why hide it? Like, let's be open and transparent. Like, there's a lot of people struggling with their weight, and I wanted to kind of share it to show that it is possible if you have a proven system and a realistic system, that even if you've struggled in the past, you can get your shit together and make changes. Right? It's never too late to turn things around. All right, what else we got? We have Ralph tuning in. Ross is saying go download Lee's app from Google Play. Yeah, you can certainly do that. It's on Google Play. It's on iTunes. If you haven't already done so, just head on over to my website, leehayward.com, and on that page, you'll see a direct link to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding app. If you want to download that, it's kind of like the purpose of the Total Fitness Bodybuilding app is that I said, how can I cram as much fitness and nutrition information into one spot to just make it like your one-stop shop for getting started on the right track. And that's what I wanted to do. So like, if somebody's brand new and they don't know anything about fitness, anything about nutrition, and just like, how do I get started on the right track? I said, like, I want to just create this one-stop shop for beginner workouts, nutrition advice, recipe guide. There's even a section there where you can have a Q&A. And then it also has more advanced workouts. So there'll be intermediate and advanced programs, and more advanced nutrition strategies, whether you're trying to bulk or cut or whatever. I mean, it's kind of like your one-stop shop, and it's put it together. It's a $2 download. I guarantee you it's going to be the best $2 you ever spend. Right? You can get it from iTunes or Google Play. But that was the purpose of that. Is like, how do I create as much value as possible for the best value as possible and get it out to as many people as possible, if that makes sense. All right, let's see what else we've got. Ross is saying, I'm left-handed and my right forearm is a lot smaller than my left, but my right bicep's a lot more defined. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes weird how that works. Like, there's really it doesn't always mean like if your dominant hand's gonna be bigger and stronger. It's weird how that works. What's your thought on hot and cold? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, hot is hot and cold is cold. What like? Oh shit! Do explain your question a bit more. I'm not sure what you mean on that one. So I'll just move on while you elaborate on your question. Okay. Only Links is asking, can I gain muscle by doing a full body exercise with a barbell only? I mean, anything you do is better than nothing. So, I mean, if you're not doing anything and then you start doing some full body barbell workout, of course, you can gain muscle with that. Is it the ideal thing to do? No. The ideal thing to do would be actually to join a gym where you have access to a full spectrum of exercise equipment for all your major muscle groups. And you can utilize barbells and dumbbells and machines and body weight and everything else. That would be the best scenario. But if you're stuck with nothing more than a barbell, you can still make progress. But again, it's not ideal. Tammy's tuning in, saying, hey, Lee, winter here. Or sorry, hey, let me rephrase. Let me start all over again with that one. Hey there, Lee. In Winter Haven, Florida, Wondering your opinion on alcohol and bodybuilding, meaning can I drink twice a week without compromising muscle gains? It, I've discussed this in the past. If you want to do, I've got videos on this as well. Like just do a search for Lee Hayward alcohol. You should find them. Just go on YouTube, Lee Hayward alcohol, and they should pop up in the search menu. But I'll give you the quick and dirty answer here. It's it's a bigger picture process that you need to look at. Like, is alcohol helping your muscle gains? Heck no. It's there's no beneficial muscle building properties to alcohol whatsoever. It's toxic to the liver, it dehydrates your body, there's no nutritional value in it. It is just pure poison in the system. So is it helping? Absolutely not. It's doing at diddly squat, only placing stress on your body and giving you a buzz, right? if there's a positive to it, okay, if you enjoy the buzz, right? If you enjoy getting intoxicated, that's about the only positivity that you will get out of it. Now, with that being said, does it mean that if you drink alcohol, you'll never make gains? No, because it's the bigger picture. It's like a scale, like a balance a scale of, okay, all the things that you're doing that are good and all the things you're doing that are bad. And you kind of got to weigh out the pros and the cons. And if you're doing more good stuff than you are bad stuff, you can still tip the scale in favor of actually making gains. So it's like, could you eat junk food and lose weight? Yeah, you could, as long as you're still in a calorie deficit, despite eating the junk food. So whether that's a calorie deficit because you're just doing so much exercise that you burn it off, or you're in a calorie deficit that you're eating small enough portions that you're still creating a calorie deficit, you could eat junk food and lose fat, right? Can you drink alcohol and still, build muscle, lose fat? Technically, yes. As long as you're doing enough good stuff to move you in the right direction, you'll still be able to make progress. However, it would be so much easier to make even better progress if you just didn't drink the alcohol, right? I mean, because again, it's not doing anything good, but you can still make progress even if you drink. Now, ideally, the less you drink, the better it is. Now, in my case, back when I was younger, I did drink a little bit, not a lot. I was never a fan of drinking, and quite honestly, I haven't drank alcohol in 10 years. It's been 10 years now since I've drank alcohol, because I remember the last time I competed in bodybuilding was in 2011 when I started my pre-contest diet that year. I stopped drinking alcohol and I did not pick it up after the show. So I have not drank alcohol in 10 years. And I don't miss it. I have zero desire for alcohol. It's just like, I mean, I have as much desire to drink as I would to, like, snort cocaine or inject heroin or do meth or something. Like, I wouldn't touch drugs in a million years, and I have no desire to touch alcohol either. Like, there is zero desire. It's not that I had a problem with it. I just don't want it. But back when I was younger, I used to give in to the peer pressure. So people say, hey, we're going out drinking. You want to come out drinking with us? And I'd say, okay. I'm going out with my friends and we go to the nightclubs, all the stuff that young people do. But I had a sneaky strategy that I used to do to minimize my alcohol consumption. So one is I would go and I would have a drink. Let's just say I was going to have a beer. So I would have a bottle of beer. Then my next drink might be a diet soda. So I'd still have a glass in my hand, and I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody what was in it. Could be rum and Coke for all they care, but it was just diet soda. And then my next one was usually a glass of water. So, and then I'd probably start the whole cycle all over again. So then I would have another beer, and I always drank light beer. I know some people think, you're a pussy if you drink light beer, but that was me. I drank the light beer, the diet soda, and a glass of water. And I would go through that cycle. So if I had 6 drinks over the course of the night, only 2 actually contained any alcohol, because 1 beer, 1 soda, 1 water, 1 beer, 1 soda, 1 water, and that was my night of drinking. Like, seriously, that was it. I would do that. And I mean, of course, when you limit the alcohol consumption like that, it minimizes the damage done. But even that is causing damage. I mean, there's zero beneficial benefits to drinking beer like that, even in moderation. But that's how I did it. Sometimes I would even take my empty beer bottle and go to the bathroom and fill it up in the sink with water. So I'd be going around the club with a beer bottle full of water and just sip on that. So, and the reason why I always have to have a bottle or a glass or something in your hand, because if not, then people are going to be bugging you like, oh, hey, how come you're not drinking? Come on, come to the bar. We'll get a drink. But as long as you always had something in your hand, people tend to leave you alone. So that was my strategy. I always have a glass in your hand, just so people are not going to bug you about not drinking. And then, of course, as you get older and you realize that you don't want to be drinking, then you just disassociate with all the friends who the only bit of relationship you had was drinking. So, like, it's so funny. Like, I'm looking back at all the people that I used to go out to the nightclubs with. Like, I don't spend any time with them anymore because the only purpose of our relationship was to go to the nightclubs and go drinking. Like, that was it. We didn't associate outside of, like, if there was no alcohol, there was no friendship. So once I stopped drinking alcohol, then the friendship kind of fizzled away as well. So kind of realize who your real friends are when you limit the bottle. All right, what else we got here? I know I'm ranting on here. Chad saying, "Holy macros, I'm full." Okay, good for you. Lee is asking, my chest seems to be underdeveloped compared to my other muscle groups. I never feel a pump when working the chest. I really focus my mind on my chest. I bench, but still no pump. Do push-ups. Push-ups are one of my favorite chest exercises. This is something you can do at home. You don't need to go to the gym. Like, you can even do it throughout the day frequently. Start off doing 2 sets of push-ups every single day. Just like, say, do a set of push-ups in the morning, set of push-ups in the evening. And then you can even build it up throughout the day. But frequent push-ups, this is something that will go a long way. Like, before I got involved with bodybuilding and weight training, I used to do a lot of body weight exercises, and push-ups was one of my favorites, and I got really good at them. I mean, back when I was a teenager, I could do 100 push-ups in a row nonstop, right? I can't do that now. Like 50 or so in a row is kind of like where I crap out to right now. But back when I was younger and a bit lighter and I guess better endurance, I could bang out 100 push-ups in a row. But again, it was one of the best exercises for building up the chest. And once you get that high volume, that high repetition, the time under tension, it's fantastic. So I actually think the push-up is a superior chest builder than the bench press. So if you're having trouble building your chest, do some push-ups. Okay. People just commenting about other questions that I've already answered. Good stuff. Lee, again, this is from B Gains, and he says, I'm 5'7". I fluctuate between 157, 161 pounds. I have been weight training for 5 months. I want to gain more mass. My calorie intake is 2,700 calories a day. Should I increase the calories? It depends. It really depends. If you are lean at your current body weight, like you have visible abdominal definition, you're lean, and you're kind of stuck in a plateau, then yeah, you could try bumping up your calories a little bit. Try bumping them up to probably, 3,000, right? That'd be a good place to, I mean, you don't need to go crazy, just a little bump. If you're at 27, bump it up to 3,000, see how your body responds. However, if you are fat, and I don't mean, obviously, 160 pounds or whatever, you're not fat, like obese fat or nothing, but if you have excess body fat that you want to lose, so like you're in that situation where I want to build more muscle, but I also want to lose my belly fat, then don't increase your calories, right? Because you can build muscle and lose body fat simultaneously. You can achieve what's known as a body recomposition, where you follow proper training, nutrition, cardio, consistency, all that kind of stuff. You have a solid plan in place. You can simultaneously build lean muscle on your frame while burning off stubborn body fat in the process. So it really depends on you. If you're already lean and ripped, bump up the calories. If you're not, keep them the same. Julian saying, I love your shows, brother. Thank you much. Appreciate the feedback. John is joining in, says, many people gain weight in places with bad winters during the winter. Obviously, reason less activity and higher calorie dense foods. But a friend of mine told me there's a mechanism where the body stores like like a mammalian. Geez, I can't. Mammalian? Mammalian. Am I saying that right? Like a mammalian response for swimmers. Any thoughts? Okay. I don't. If you're getting fat in the winters because you're eating too many damn calories, that's the reason why you're getting fat. Like, that's it. Like, we're not. like we're not whales or seals or something like where we're out in the elements, and you know you need to have a layer of blubber on you in order to survive. If we need to survive, guess what? We put on a sweater, we put on coat, we put on snow pants and boots and hat and gloves. Like that's our layer of insulation. We don't need to have a layer of insulation known as body fat. So I think that's just people being a crock of BS. Like if you're fat and you get fat in the winter, it's because you're eating too damn much. Simple as that. Like you could get shredded in the winter if you're in a calorie deficit. You're training right, eating right, doing cardio and consistent. You can get shredded in the winter, right? That's an excuse. All right, Sean is saying, Lee, my job is labor, and some days I want to go home and relax and crack open a beer. How do I overcome this? I don't feel like the jacked animal I was before I had this job. All right. When you want to go home and crack open a beer, you can definitely do that. Just choose a non-alcoholic beer. And I'm serious about that. Non-alcoholic beer. And this is a little secret of mine. Like sometimes I actually do crave a beer from time to time. I know I mentioned alcohol earlier, but when I drink beer, it's non-alcoholic beer. And I sometimes have it just as I don't have it often, like maybe 2 to 3 times a week, I will have a bottle of non-alcoholic beer. And it's for those situations when like, I'm sitting around, I'm kicking back on the sofa after a hard day and watching a show on the television. I'm just like, man, I just got a hankering for a beer, right? I don't know, I just want to have a beer. So I'll have a non-alcoholic beer. One that I usually go with, O'Doul's makes a nice one. Another one that we've been having recently is Heineken. Even Costco has been carrying Heineken non-alcoholic beer. And they're small bottles too. They're not the big 341 ml bottles. They're 250 ml bottles, which I even find better because sometimes I found like the full beer bottle, like I wouldn't even want to finish it because I only want to like a taste, like to kind of get that little fizzy taste, and a little bit's often enough. So I'll drink one 250 ml bottle, and like that's enough. That's enough to get the fizzy beer taste satisfaction out of my system, and then I can just like forget about it and move on. So if you are craving beer, try the non-alcoholic ones. I mean, it's like anywhere from 50 to 100 calories per bottle, depending on the brand and the bottle and everything else. And I mean, that's it's going to give you the beer satisfaction you want without the negative drawbacks. Okay, what else? Okay, and another thing he's saying, I don't know if you're asking for workout advice in there as well, or you're just talking about the beer advice. But anyway, we'll move on now because let's see what else. John is saying the response is to maintain warmth. Okay, he's talking about the people getting fat in the wintertime. Lee, by hot and cold, I mean a 1 minute hot shower, then a 1 minute cold shower for recovery, and then keep doing that so it increases blood flow. Yes, that absolutely works. I actually have a video that I go into detail talking about that. I believe it's called How to Get Rid of Muscle Soreness Fast. If you do a search for Lee Hayward, How to Get Rid of Muscle Soreness Fast, right? Not just get rid of it, but get rid of it fast, right? I'll explain that. But that is a strategy that works. It's hot and colds, alternating showers. There's different ways to go about it. It doesn't always have to be a shower. Like if you have access to a hot tub and a cold shower, that works. If you have access to a hot tub and a cold swimming pool, that works, right? But the hot and cold therapy, the idea behind it is when your body is hot, it flushes blood to the surface of the skin. You get that redness. When your body's cold, it pulls the blood to the core of the body. So you're literally circulating blood flow without actually doing anything. And it is very effective. It does help to improve circulation, alleviate soreness. I'm a big advocate of it. Okay, let's see what else we got. Tammy's saying, lost my buzz when I told him about the alcohol having negative effects on muscle building. Well, maybe you lose your buzz, but you gain your muscle. What do you want? Do you want to have a buzz or do you want to have a nice physique, right? One or the other. Most people want to have a buzz, right? That's why you look at the average person, they're overweight, out of shape, beer belly, right? Because they choose the buzz. But if you want to have a nice physique, then choose the gym. Choose healthy food. Stogie is joining us from Scotland, saying, do you have any plans to do more recipe videos? Yeah, I do. It's just I've been flat out busy that I haven't had a chance to do many lately. Like this past week with the Lose Your Gut Challenge, that takes up like I don't even want to count the hours that I put into it because it'd be scary to know. But it's like I start, the crack of dawn and it goes till after dark every single day. It's a full timer for sure. But yeah, I definitely want to make some more recipe videos. There's a big demand for that, and it's so much easier to show somebody how to prepare a meal when you do a recipe video versus trying to write it out or explain it and all that. Like I personally find it much easier to learn watching a video than trying to read it in a book. Uh, Only Links is asking, is there any exercises for your face? Not really. I mean, I have no I do not. I do zero exercises for my face. Right. I do exercises for the neck, but that's different. But I don't do anything for the face. My exercise for the face is flapping my gab like I'm doing right now. Brent's joining in. Okay, he's talking about. He says there's actually something you can do for your face. It's called a jawcercise. Uh, it's basically a face and jaw chewing ball. Like, why in the heck would you want a chewing ball? Like, chew your food or something. Like, or chew gum. Like, I don't know. Anyway, if you need to exercise your face, like I'll just elaborate on that because maybe if you have a fat face and like if you're overweight and out of shape, like you gain fat in the face as well. If you start to lose body fat, guess what? Your face will lean down as well, and that happens. Like so, if you want to tone up the face, just lose fat in general, and you'll also lose it from the face as well. Like you lose the double chin or whatever, wherever the trouble area is. Lee, why is it that people make us we are eating clean? This is from Azim. Why is it that people make of us? I think you might be make fun of us. Is that what you mean? If that people are making fun of us from eating clean, I don't know. Like, I'm going to assume that's what your question is. If people are making fun of you for eating clean, it's because they're probably trying to justify why they're eating like crap, right? And they just want to make themselves feel good, so make you feel bad in order to make themselves feel good. But quite honestly, who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? Do what you want to do. Okay, what else? Lee, if your job is a hard time, I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to scroll back because I think that was from Sean, and he might have had it. All right. Anyway, move on. Okay, Brent saying, I know you. Oh, I know there's another question I missed there. This one's from Azim as well. Must we drink water after cardio? Is it really the case or just a hoax? Drink water throughout the day. Like, drink based on your thirst. Don't, like, obviously, if you're working out, then it makes sense because you're probably going to get thirsty while you're working out, and so you drink water. But just drink it throughout the day. Don't overthink it. Like, if you're thirsty, drink. If you're not thirsty, then, well, don't drink. Like, just drink water based on your thirst. And ideally, what I like to do is keep water with you throughout the day. Where I actually have one here. See, you're talking about water. I'm going to have some. So I keep a bottle of water with me, and just sip it throughout the day. That's the easiest thing to do, and just sip till you're satisfied. Like don't force water into you, or don't purposely dehydrate yourself. Just drink based on your thirst. And to know if you're drinking enough, ideally your pee should be like a light yellow or clear. If your pee is dark yellow, it's kind of a sign that you need to be drinking more water. Brent says, I know you hate keto and most diet fads, but what are your thoughts about the Mediterranean diet? Fish, fruits, vegetables, healthy oils, some pasta. Can you think of any drawbacks? Overall, I mean, a Mediterranean diet is fairly well balanced, right? I mean, like, I know they have there are all these rules that they want to throw in there, and it's basically marketing and all that kind of stuff, right? To just sell a program, sell books and everything else, right? You gotta make your plan sound different and unique than everybody else's. So, like, well, let's not just call it a well-balanced diet. Let's call it a Mediterranean diet, right? And, ooh, I want to be Mediterranean. Like, it overall, it is a well-balanced diet, like you just mentioned, right? I mean, Fruits, veggies, fish, healthy fats, right? I mean, it's good stuff. Sean saying, after a hard day of labor, how do you find the motivation to work out? And what if your day starts super early, so lifting in the morning isn't practical? Then I guess you have to work out later in the day. What would help? One thing you're going to have to do, if you're doing a hard physical labor job, you're going to have to adjust your workouts accordingly. And what I mean by that is adjust the training intensity to match your recovery. Because like if you're doing heavy construction work or lifting or labor or whatever, then obviously you're not going to need to do as much general physical exercise as someone who sits on their ass tapping on a computer all day, right? Like if you have a sedentary job, then you're going to have to do extra cardio to make up for the calories that you're not burning during your job. But if you're on your feet all day and you're lifting and carrying and working, then you're not going to need to do as much cardio as someone who's sedentary. So that's something that you can kind of reduce or maybe even eliminate from your program, other than just like a pre-workout warm-up or maybe a cool down. So that will save some uh, energy or time from the gym. Also, when you go to the gym, just focus on a few key things. Like it doesn't have to be this big daunting 2 hour long workout. Like if you're tired and you don't have a lot of energy, go and do a half-hour workout. Do a little 30-minute circuit routine. Like just keep it small and simple. And what you'll find is the more consistent you are, even if it's a small, simple routine, that'll help to increase your motivation. It'll help you to feel better, and then it'll make it easier to expand on that as your fitness and work capacity increases. Like one of the this is a common thing, and this could apply to anybody, regardless if you work a physical labor job or not. People make the idea of going to the gym, exercise, eating right, all they make it too big, right? And I'll give you an example. Like I used to be this way. I used to think, well, if I can't dedicate at least 45 minutes to cardio, what's the point? Right? And I wouldn't do it. If I didn't have at least 45 minutes to do cardio, I wouldn't do any cardio. And I used to think, well, if I can't go to the gym for at least 2 hours, what's the point? And so if I never had 2 hours to get dedicate to going to the gym, I wouldn't go to the gym. Now I look for excuses on how I can throw in little mini workouts and cardio sessions. Like I'll look at my schedule and maybe I've got like 20 minutes before my next coaching call. And I'll say, well, gee, I got 20 minutes. Guess what? I can do a 15-minute walk. I'll just go outside, do a little walk around the block for 15 minutes, get some fresh air and some exercise, and then I'll be all feeling good, energized, and ready to go for my coaching call. So, I mean, throughout the day, I'll do little mini exercise sessions like that. It doesn't have to be this grand, big, structured plan. Like, if you're traveling and you're at the airport terminal, like, instead of sitting on your ass in the chair or staring at the TV screen, like you're waiting for a plane, like walk back and forth the terminal. Like take advantage of exercise wherever you can. I mean, if I'm home and I want to get some exercise, like sometimes I'll do body weight exercises like push-ups and squats and ab work, jumping jacks. Like you don't have to have this big grand structured dedicated workout time. Like if you're too tired to go to the gym, then do like 15-20 minute body weight circuit routine when you get home from work. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be anything grand. And the smaller you make it, the more likely you're actually going to do it. The more you actually do it, the better results you're going to get. And then that's just going to start to build the positive momentum and the motivation to actually want to do more. But you have to start small and build the habit, right? I have a personal habit that I must, absolutely must, exercise every single day, no matter what. Now, what I consider exercise isn't always going to the gym for a 2 hour workout, right? My exercise could be 30 minutes of walking. It could be going to the gym for a workout. It could be doing a body weight circuit routine at home. But every single day, I must do some form of exercise for at least 30 minutes. That's my non-negotiable. I mean, it might be doing two 15-minute walks. I might do a 15-minute walk in the morning and a 15-minute walk in the evening, right? That could be my 30 minutes of exercise. Or again, it could be a big proper session at the gym. But that's my habit. I must exercise every single day, no matter what. Like even if I have to stay up late, like if I was extra busy with work and I didn't get any exercise, I would stay up an extra half hour and go down in my basement. I have an elliptical machine and I would do a half hour on my elliptical before I went to bed. Like I make it happen no matter what, assuming I have to stay up late to make it happen or get up early or whatever. And because I've had that habit, I've been able to stay lean over the past year. Like that's just one of many habits, but I mean that it just goes to show like you need to be consistent. I can't let myself go a day without exercise. Like it would just burn and bug the crap out of me because I have it set up like I must do it. And for the last, I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's been for over a year now. I have not missed a day of exercise because of that habit. And I feel really good. And I'm not going to let the negative momentum kick in where I do have a day where I don't exercise. I would feel like a bag of shit if I had a day where I didn't exercise. You know, that daily exercise makes me feel good. It helps reinforce the fact that I'm on the right track to improving my health and fitness, and it's a non-negotiable. So start small, make it a non-negotiable, stick to those habits, and then it makes it easier to build on them from there. Alrighty, where else we got? First Revenge is joining, and he says, Lee, can you build a great physique without squats and deadlifts? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You do not need to squat. You do not need to deadlift. We have dozens of different leg exercises, back exercises, and other exercises that you can do. In fact, honestly, I don't do a lot of squats and deadlifts anymore. Right? I do them occasionally, but I haven't squat and deadlifted since November. And the reason why I did that is because I had an injury back in November, and I've been just working around it, doing some machine and body weight and band exercises and things like that. So, no, you don't need to do squats and deadlifts, right? Unless you're a power lifter or someone like that who, you know, that's your sport, squatting and deadlifting. I mean, no, for general health and fitness, you don't have to do it. He says, I injured my back at work and I can't do squats and deadlifts anymore without being in pain. All right. No, you don't have to do it. Sean is saying Larry Wheels bench press 675 pounds at a body weight of 275 pounds. How is that possible? It's possible because he is strong. People like Larry Wheels, they're like unicorns. Like, that's not the average person, right? Ooh, I think something's flickering there. Hopefully this is still working. I think my Wi-Fi or my router is making chirpy noises. Hopefully we don't lose the power. Yeah, but anyway, he's a unicorn, right? Like he's not normal. That's like he's kind of like elite level genetics, super strong. Like most people are not that strong, but it's impressive to watch nonetheless. Space Battleship Alex is joining in, and he says, "Hey Lee," and I say, "Hey, Space Battleship Alex, how are you doing?" Okay. Okay, it says, a lot of people like the fact when I said, "Oh, I'm Mediterranean." People like that for some reason. I'm getting comments on that. Okay, well, I'll do it again. Azim is saying, Lee, do you have any idea about German bodybuilding training regimen or whatever it's called? I think you mean the German volume training. What it all about? What is it all about? Is it something created by the Germans? I heard about the German volume training, probably the same as 99% of people who heard about it. It was Charles Poliquin published an article about it in Muscle Media 2000 back in the day. Like for those like you got to be 40 plus to know what I'm talking about. If you're not 40 plus, you don't know what I'm talking about. And you had to be following bodybuilding when you were a kid. But Muscle Media 2000 was a magazine that Bill Phillips created. Bill Phillips used to own EAS, Experimental and Applied Sciences Supplement Company. He's the one who created the Body for Life Challenge and all that stuff. But anyway, Bill Phillips had a magazine back in the day. Charles Poliquin was a writer for it, and he was the one who had the German volume training program. That's where I first heard about it. I'm getting a phone call come in. Actually, I'm just going to decline that, and I'll answer it later. Whether it came from the Germans, I have no idea. I don't know. So maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I know it came from Muscle Media 2000. Who's stronger, Larry Wheels or Brock Lesnar? Honestly, I'd probably say Larry Wheels, right? I mean, but again, I have no idea. Getting on the phone call from me. Hello. Doing good, and yourself? Yeah, we still have power. Yeah, do you have power? Oh, you lost your power. Okay, well, we still have power. Knock on wood. And it's out in the garage, but I can get it if needed. There's no snow in front of the garage or nothing like that. I can get at it. All right, all right, thanks for the heads up. All right, all right. You take care. Love you too. All right, bye bye. That was my dad. He lives about a couple miles over the road, and he just lost his electricity. So I may lose the power any minute. Like I say, there's a savage snowstorm on the go outside. So if we lose the power and this just cuts off, then don't take it personal. I'm not being rude or anything like that. It's just the power cut off, right? But I'll keep going until the power goes. What else we got? Julius is joining, or sorry, no, he's not joining this. First Revenge is saying Julius has a Rob. Okay, he's talking about people who have bench press records. I don't follow powerlifting that much anymore, so I don't know who the strongest person is and who's got the biggest bench and who's whatever. I honestly I'm not following powerlifting, so I don't know. All right, David is joining in. He says, Lee, I am tall and skinny and enjoy doing intense cardio 3 to 4 days a week. However, I'm looking to build some muscle. Will I see good results with a beginner dumbbell workout 3 days a week? All right. The tall, skinny thing, that is genetics. That's what we refer to as an ectomorph body type, right? That's just God-given genetics. Everybody has their own genetic build, right? Like some people are naturally, short and fat. Some people are naturally tall and skinny. Some people are somewhere in between. Like the whole ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph, there is truth to it, but like we're all a combination. We're not like nobody's pure ectomorph, nobody's pure endomorph, nobody's pure mesomorph. We all kind of like have tendencies, but you can see the spectrum of people. Like if we took 100 people and lined them up and you say, okay, who's the tallest and skinniest, who's the shortest and fattest, and then we all line them up in order, from the tallest, skinniest to the shortest, fattest, like you would see the whole spectrum of endomorph to ectomorph, right, and everything in between. So it's a lot of it has to do with your genetics. But regardless of your genetics, you can always make progress. So if you're not working out right now and you start weight training, yeah, you're going to see progress. Right? That's known as newbie gains. It's the first year that you're training, and if you do so properly with a structured program, consistency, good nutrition, all that stuff, you will generally make really good progress within your first year. So yeah, absolutely. And if you want a plan to follow, you mentioned a dumbbell workout. Ideally, I'd say like join the gym. Like if you want to maximize your progress and get the best bang for your buck, don't screw around with just a dumbbell workout. Join the gym where you have access to all kinds of exercises that you can work your muscles from different angles and have so much more variety. But if you are stuck, like you don't have gym access. Like maybe you live out in the middle of the boonies somewhere and there's not a gym for 100 miles and you only have a set of dumbbells. Okay, well, make do with whatever you have. But if you have the option to go to the gym, go to the gym. You'll make much better progress. But with that being said, I do have a dumbbell workout playlist up on my YouTube channel that you can go check out. Just open up the playlist. It's a home gym dumbbell workout series covering exercises for all your major muscle groups using just dumbbells. Manuel is joining in. Hello, Manuel. Sean is asking or he's not asking me, he's asking somebody else. He's asking Ross, who's Ross's favorite strongman? And I'm sure Ross is going to say Eddie Hall because I've seen Ross mention that before. What else we got? If you could only choose 3 pieces of equipment, what would you choose and why? I'm going to cheat a little bit. I have a power rack with a cable pulley setup down in my basement home gym, and it's technically one piece of equipment. The power rack, which also has a pull-up bar, and it also has 2 cable pulleys on front, so it's like a cable crossover station, high and low pulley. I would count that as one piece of equipment, because you can do so much with a power rack, with a pull-up bar, and with cable pulleys. Like you can do a lot of exercises. What else would I choose? I guess you'd have to have are you counting barbell and dumbbells as well? Like if I said, okay, I want a barbell and dumbbells, that's my other two pieces, or could I actually choose like exercise stations or something? I mean, okay, another one that you would obviously have to have is a bench, right? A bench, an adjustable bench that can go from like a flat incline decline that and an upright that would definitely help. What else would I choose? I'd like to have a leg extension leg curl machine, and this is exactly what I have down in my home gym. Right, I have a power rack with a cable pulley set up. I have a leg extension leg curl machine. Um, I've got a lat pull down seated row cable set up as well. Um, yeah, I mean that's the basics right there. I mean, if you can do your basic barbell exercises and you have access to cables, and then you also can do leg extensions and leg curls, and you got a barbell and dumbbells, like you can pretty much train everything with that basic setup. Now, it'd be nice to have other pieces of equipment there as well, like hammer strength seated row or leg press and blah blah blah. Some of these cool things, but you can basically train everything if you have power rack cables, bench, leg extension, leg curl. I know that's more than three, but what odds? Where is video number 3 for the beginner workout? It's in editing. It's actually on my phone. That's where it's to. There's all the video footage is on my phone. I just haven't got it edited yet. So, and the reason why it's not edited yet is because this past week I've been doing the Lose Your Gut Challenge with the private Facebook group, as I mentioned earlier. So I've kind of like had to prioritize certain things. So that was a big priority for me to go through that Lose Your Gut Challenge. Personally coaching 194 people, and then we whittled it down to 82 because over 100 of those 112 people couldn't keep up with the challenge and got kicked out. But that's what I was doing this past week, so I haven't had a chance to edit the video. Azim is saying, Lee, this is a supplementary question to the cardio question. Look, we even have supplements for questions. Look at this. I'm going to do cardio like walking as I always do. If I feel like drinking water, is it fine to take a sip or two while walking? Yes, you can drink water while you exercise. Whether you're weight training, you're walking, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, drink. Like, I have what's known as a camel pack, and it's basically a water backpack. And if I'm going on a long cardio session, whether that's like a hike in the woods, a mountain bike ride, or some long form of cardio, I will take that. And it's just a backpack, and it has this plastic tube straw that comes over your shoulder, so like I can just sip water while I'm doing cardio, and it's awesome. So yes, you can drink water while you do cardio. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know who's telling you not to drink water, but whoever they are, they're a freaking idiot. Anyway, what else we got there? A few other people making fun of my Mediterranean arm fling. Ooh, I'm not going to do it again. Sean saying, "Do you think you could beat Brian Shaw in arm wrestling if your life depended on it?" If my life depended on beating Brian Shaw in an arm wrestling, I wouldn't be around. I'd be like a squat like an ant, right? Like, of course not. What foolish question is that? What else we got? Azim is saying, I hope everything's going well. Take care, Lee, and watch your step. I saw on the weather that it's a snowstorm across Canada and North America. How do you manage these situations? You bunker down, my friend. You bunker down. In fact, I'm going to post, after this video chat's over, I'm going to post to my YouTube stories a video of the snowstorm. And I'm also going to post a picture to my community tab of the snow, because I went out, like it's the wind is after picking up since then, so I wouldn't go out and do it now. But in the matter of like 5 hours, well, actually a little more than 5 hours, but my car is like totally buried, like snow right to the roof of the car, right? And it's pretty nasty out there right now. We probably even had another foot of snow since then. Where it's drifting up over the car there. What else we got? Have you ever heard of a program called the Gray Skull LP? No, this is the first time I've heard of the Gray Skull LP. I have no idea. Who comes up with these names, right? The Gray Skull. I mean, I know, yeah, I've heard of Gray Skull. It was like, what was it, He-Man and Skeletor, Masters of the Universe and Gray Skull, the castle or whatever, but that's the only one I've heard of. It snows in Canada. Yes, it does. Yeah, that's Alex said that. Yeah. You have some excellent dumbbell routines. Great stuff. You're welcome. That's from MT Woodrunner. I have you ever did cupping therapy? No, I haven't. He says it's good for detoxing. I have no idea. I've never done it. I've seen people do it, like people posting the pictures of all the weird cuppy suction. I've never done it. No. If I only have $25 to spend on food every week, what groceries would I buy or should I buy? What's the First off, I don't know how much $25 is going to get you because I mean, food prices vary depending on where you live and all that kind of stuff. But like, you're asking, like, what's the best bang for your buck when it comes to food? Oatmeal is a good one. Rice is a good one. Frozen vegetables is a good one. Like these are the cheapest forms of food. Depending on where you live, like eggs and dairy may be cheap. Again, that depends on where you live. Like, for example, I know whenever I travel to the States, the United States, eggs and dairy is so much cheaper than it is here in Canada, or at least where I'm to in Newfoundland. Like, eggs and dairy are freaking through the roof. Like, depending on the type of eggs you get, whether they're the regular eggs or the organic eggs, like, if you get organic free range eggs, it could be up to $7 a dozen. Like that's how much I've seen them in the grocery store for. Now, sometimes you can get the regular eggs for like, $4 a dozen is kind of like the cheaper range, but eggs are freaking expensive here. So you might not want to go with eggs if it's expensive. But then in other places, like I've seen down in the United States, it's like $1 a dozen or $2 a dozen or something like that. It's just crazy the difference in price. What you were asking, cheap foods? Okay, oatmeal, like rice, that's the carbohydrates. You can get carbs cheap, stuff like that. Buy it in bulk, it's cheap. Instead of buying fresh vegetables, buy frozen vegetables. Instead of buying fresh fruit, buy frozen fruit. You can usually get better deals on the big bulk bags of frozen than you can with fresh. And of course, if you're buying it frozen, it's going to last longer because it's not going to go bad and rot and spoil. Tuna fish, cans of tuna fish is another good option. For cheap protein powder. Like, get yourself a big old 5 or 10 pound tub of whey protein. Like, that's cheap. Like, if you work out protein powder gram for gram compared to meat, chicken, fish, eggs, all that kind of stuff, more often than not, the protein powder works out cheaper. So if you're on a budget, you can get a good chunk of your protein from protein powder and actually save some money in the process. Right? That's a misconception. Like, people look at a tub of protein powder and it's whatever. Let's just say it's $50 a container, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't afford $50." But like, do you realize how much protein is in that? And they say, "I can't afford $50 for a container," but then they go and spend like $5 on a burger at McDonald's. Like, you just got one burger, one meal, right? Eaten, gone. Whereas that protein tub has got like, a lot of protein, right? So you're looking at the price per container, not the price per serving. So I mean, a price per serving, protein powder is cheaper in most places, at least in North America. Now, I don't know in the different parts of the world, like if you live in Timbuktu where you got to get protein powder imported in, it might be totally different. But in North America, it's way cheaper to consume protein from protein powder than it is from solid food. So that's a great way to save some money. I know that some people are going to cringe on this, but if you're really on a budget, some of the stuff that you get at the dollar stores, you can get some good deals on stuff like canned tuna fish or whatever. Sometimes like you can get some canned foods at the dollar store, like canned beans and things like that for pretty cheap. Even bags of bulk bulk dried beans and things like that, and dried legumes. Like, you can buy that stuff up cheap, make it up. I mean, that would be nutrient dense, cheap foods. Bottom line, you just got to be clever about it, right? There's always ways to eat healthy, even if you're on a budget, right? You don't have to resort to eating crap just because you're on a budget. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready and clue it up because I actually have a coaching call coming up very soon with one of my coaching students, so I'm going to clue it up, and hopefully I don't lose the power in the meantime. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, chat. I know there's still some more questions and comments and all that kind of stuff coming on down there, but again, thanks for tuning in, and I hopefully you enjoyed it. and I will have the replay of this video chat posted up on the YouTube channel within the next 24 hours, thereabouts, 24, 48 hours. So if you want to go back and watch the replay and kind of like jump to the individual questions that interest you the most, or if you want to just keep watching my Mediterranean diet replay arm flail, you can do that as well because I'll have a timestamp for it. So, yeah, I got nothing else to say, so I'm going to clue it up, guys. Over and out. Now, how do I turn this thing off? Normally I do my video chats on the computer, and it's very simple to turn it off. I'm doing this one on my phone, and I don't even know how to turn this thing off. Do you want to stop streaming? Okay.